Right then, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Donnarumma because something's going on, isn't it? Why are PSG looking to get rid of him? Why have they signed a new goalkeeper? Why is the Champions League goalkeeper of the season last year potentially looking at getting moved on? Is he a bit of a widge? Is his wages too high? Is there something being masked in his stats? Let's get into all of that and then ask the question, could he end up at Manchester United this summer? So for a little bit of context, PSG have signed Lucas Chevalier from Lille on a 5-year deal until 2030, so somewhere in the region of like 30 odd million pound, right? That could rise with some add-ons. Now Chevalier is 23. He was Ligue 1's goalkeeper of the year last season, and PSG have made a bit of a statement here going for him. They are going for long-term investment in younger players, a strategy that's been hailed as forward-thinking, akin to a bit of a Bayern Munich style model, and actually something that INEOS are telling us that that's what they want to bring in at Manchester United, which then makes it a bit weird if they go for Donnarumma, because Donnarumma's been getting binned off in favour of a younger goalkeeper. However, Donnarumma's not old. He's only 26. And in the land of goalkeepers, 26 is not crazy. Now let's have a look at his stats, because when you look at his stats, when you look at his FB-ref, it looks strange. It's not an obvious wow when you look at his data. Some reasons for that. Now, obviously, the goals against is 1.02, which is pretty solid, but again, contextually depends on the defensive setup. His save percentage and shots faced, it's pretty medium, right? It's actually very similar to Onana's last season. So you don't really get a lot of insight into the distribution of the shots that he's been facing. You look at some of the advanced metrics and post-shot XG, PSXG, sounds suspiciously like PSG. That does give you a little bit of a look at it. He's very good on that front, and it shows that he's performing quite well, very high, actually, relative to the expectations when it comes to that particular metric. Now, there's possible reasons for some of this sort of very extreme-looking data. PSG's got quite a porous defence for such a good side, European champions, but they give you a chance, particularly in Europe. They have this sort of, we'll just outscore you kind of mentality. That puts a lot of pressure on Buffon, thinking GG, on Donnarumma. That can inflate some of his numbers. Now, if you look at him as a goalkeeper, he's had some very eye-catching saves, and he's an absolute fucking unit of a bloke. Distribution and his footwork have been described as pretty ordinary. That's one of the reasons why PSG have looked to upgrade him with Chevalier. The data doesn't show, though, leadership. Doesn't show big game mentality. Doesn't show those reflexes on some of the saves that he's had to make. And he had some iconic saves, especially against Liverpool, but others all the way through that Champions League run last season, which have really sort of defined and cemented the reputation. So is he better than Onana? Well, the short answer is not necessarily, because we literally saw Onana have a season like this in the Champions League not too long ago. And while Donnarumma has the silverware to back it up, player of the tournament, the Yashin trophy, Onana was getting similar kinds of plaudits. And what's weird about what we saw with Onana, both in the Netherlands and also in Italy, was just this elite distribution, the stepping into the six area almost, this sweeping ability and a command of the box that really looked like this modern goalkeeper. I don't know what arrived in Manchester because we just haven't seen it. Now with Donnarumma, what you get is experience for a 26-year-old. He's had over 400 games, mad experience because he's been playing for so long at the top level. He's a bit of a penalty specialist. He is an elite shot stopper, but his weaknesses are passing and distribution, which have kind of been what Onana's weaknesses have been. Like, I don't know why. for someone that came with a reputation for being excellent with the ball at his feet, this modern sweeper keeper, we didn't see that. His shot stopping was good, but then he was error prone in a big, big way last season. If PSG's system under Luis Enrique demands building from the back and proactive goalkeeping, and Chevalier is the player that ticks that box and Donnarumma is not, why would Manchester United want to bring in Donnarumma over Onana and fixing what issues you've got in that sense? Because we at least know Onana has got the goalkeeping ability, the ball-playing ability to be able to play that role. Unless United maybe want to look for something that's maybe a bit more of a sure thing when it comes to the shot stopping, even if the stats don't necessarily suggest that, because their literal save percentage is quite similar. Now, could United go for him? The rumour is PSG want like 25, 26 million, which is unfathomably low for a keeper of that quality. PSG are open to offers. They've signed a goalkeeper. Have United got the money to do so? I'd be shocked if United have got the money to do so, but I believe I'm going to be shocked for the rest of this window regardless anyway. If United went for Donnarumma, I think the prudent thing to do would be to try and get him on loan with a bit of a future fee. Whether or not you can afford the fee now or not is kind of irrelevant. I don't know if we can, but kicking it down the road for PSR reasons would be pretty good. Now, people talk about his wages. I don't know where I heard that he was on 800k a week. He's not on 800k a week. It's about 210 grand a week, which is high, but it's not the highest at Manchester United. And if he wanted commensurate wages, I don't think it'd be an issue. If he wanted to a 50% rise on top and come in at 300 or more, that's a bit of an issue. But if United are ambitious and his wages aren't crazy, why wouldn't you do it? And what is it exactly that PSG aren't happy with? Now, there is reports of a salary standoff. Some reports highlight that Donnarumma is demanding a significant pay rise on the back of what he achieved last season, and PSG aren't willing to play ball, which is a bit of a red flag for bringing him into United. So his contract renewal was at a standstill. PSG was aware of him going as a free agent because they recently got stung with what happened with Mbappe. So they proactively went out and bought Chevalier to avoid that risk. There's a bit of a style misfit. They want the more sweeper keeper, bit more distribution. His irregular footwork hasn't inspired confidence in them, even if his pure shot stopping and goalkeeping has. There isn't any sort of credible attitude problem that I've been able to find. Nothing in public suggests that there's any behavioural issues, except wants a load of money for being a major part of their Champions League success last year. Does he come crashing down to earth with an offer from United? Maybe. Then you've got the age consideration and how INEOS are working. There is a 26 years old cut-off with the way INEOS manage their recruitment. Chevalier is 23, which obviously fits right into the sort of profile of player that they're looking for. Donnarumma at 26 is right on the cusp. United aren't signing 27 or older year-old players. 26 is about as high as they would go. PSG choosing a player for a long-term project aligns with that sort of shift. Available on loan with a future fee? I don't know. PSG have clearly just decided to invest in the youth, and it's mad because they've gone from Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, incredible on paper, didn't function because all three of them would not work, to a front line with Doué and Dembele. That's mad functional on paper, nowhere near as good enough, but it delivered the Champions League. Something in that. Looking at attitudes and how people mesh together as a team. My gut instinct is Donnarumma is an improvement on Onana. I don't think he's as good with his feet, or could be as good with his feet, because actually we've not really seen Onana be good with his feet since he came to England. So maybe there's a negligible difference in that sense. Data suggests there's nothing between them when it comes to shot stopping, but the eye test suggests there's a lot between them when it comes to shot stopping. And maybe the sheer presence and size of Donnarumma, because he's a fucking tank, would be a big positive in the English Premier League. Find it very, 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 very interesting. Don't know how it's going to go. But if you manage to bring in Baleba and you brought in Donnarumma, even on loan, fucking hell, what a window. In the comments, talk to me. Would you do it? Do you think we'll do it? And I've just dropped some content out on Patreon. There's behind the scenes stuff, there's my training program, and there's a video coming out tomorrow that you don't want to miss. If you want to support the channel, you want to get a bit of extra content and behind the scenes and all that sort of stuff, and a look at my fitness program and routine, link is in the description for that. Appreciate all the support. There's tons of new members. Welcome to all of those guys. And you're missing out if you're not in part of the inner circle. So link in the description. Come and join Patreon. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.